How's it going, everybody? I am Donut. This is, of course, a Black Lives Matter, all cops are bastards, and trans rights supporting channel. If you're not supporting that shit, get the fuck off this channel. This is Squid Game Season 1, Episode 7, VIPs. Finally getting to those VIPs. Why are they coming in here at the very end? We only have a couple games left. Not sure. Every time I guess that we're gonna do a game again, I'm very surprised at how much downtime we're having between each game. It's just because we know we have 6 games to get through, and I was expecting the last episode to be mostly epilogue, but also mostly game. So then we have 7 and 8 left, and we have how many games to get through? We have 2 more games to get through, right? So I guess, I guess we got 1 more episode of downtime, for probably this episode, and then next episode maybe game, like back-to-back game sort of thing. But again, these episodes are long as shit, so, they don't have to have the game take up that much time at all. If you want to get the full length, check it out on Patreon below for $4 a month. If you want to get early access up to maybe the last episode, up to the penultimate episode, I'm not sure how much early access I'm exactly doing, but check it out on the Patreon below for, again, $4 a month. Let's get into this episode. Okay, where do we even start with this one? Well, okay, let's continue with the policeman stuff for a second, just because I really like the plotline of it. As I said, I do dig the idea of there being an intruder, somebody who is, sneaking in here and trying to get this shit shut down, getting evidence and blah, 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 blah. But unless he took those, papers from that room and, he could have them in a waterproof bag or something like that. That's the one thing I think. If he took records and stuff, that would be one thing. But, anything he got from that VIP is going to be nothing. The way he went about that was the worst possible way. Even if you wanted to do this in a way where you could do a video where it didn't seem like it was being done by gunpoint, that would have been even better. But the gun was in frame and everything. None of this is going to be admissible in court at all. You didn't take any video of any of the facility's stuff at all. He set it to record, then put it in his sleeve, but then took it out and recorded a whole separate video. So what was even the point of that? Maybe he was taking some footage of inside that room. That might be something. But yeah, I don't know how successful he's going to be from this. He has been unbelievably lucky, but he hasn't used that luck to his advantage to help build a case for this place at all. So I can't see it ending in any way other than tragedy. But it doesn't seem like he has been so unbelievably lucky that I can't see it ending in tragedy, just because, if they were going to end it in tragedy, I feel like they could have done it at a billion other points. And so I don't know why they would do it right here at the end. I mean, they could, but yeah, I don't know. This game, absolutely loved. It's everything I love about Brave Men Road, and the 2 versions of Brave Men Road put together into one thing. My favorite death game thing at all, favorite gambles, what I always call them, or whatever you would call the individual games they're playing in an overall death game series or overall death game company or location or event or whatever. I don't want to say death game as the game they play, because death game usually means, when you're referring to a death game, I would be referring to, the whole thing going on here, the whole event, all the 6 games being played. But then also death game could refer to any one of the 6 games being played. It's a very broad term, so, I'm trying to talk about this in a weird way. But my favorite game, my favorite gamble, my favorite duel, my favorite whatever from any death game series is Brave Men Road and Kaiji, which, to be fair, the literal Brave Men Road, what is called the Brave Men Road, is you walk along this beam from point A to point B. You each have numbers on your vests, and you go based on the number, and whoever is there first wins. And that was also you're not gonna die if you fall. If you fall, you just break your bones. You're probably gonna break every bone in your legs, but you're not gonna die from this height. Also, spoilers for Kaiji, but I don't care at this point. Just skip this if you don't want this, but I think this is fascinating, this gamble. Just because, again, this is my favorite gamble. That one, and then there was a separate one that was, it's a beam that's electrified, and if you fall off it, you'll die because it's so high up. And there was also a glass proponent to that as well, but that was a whole separate thing as well. But yeah, like, there's so much of that. The glass, the steel beam, the having to push people, the numbers. It's all, like, so tied into... There's two gambles, which, again, one was called Braveman Road. The other one didn't have a name. But since they're both basically the same sort of thing, just in different varying levels of intenseness, it's basically always referred to as Braveman Road. And when people say they love Braveman Road, they mean the second one, usually. And yeah, the second version with the electrified one is absolutely my favorite thing in any death game at all. And it's not just because of the game itself. Like, the game itself is great, but it's also a perfect metaphor for not like capitalism or the world we live in or anything like that, but just humanity and life in general. And I don't really want to spoil that because it's just so good. So that's what you gotta get out of it. It's perfect. You know what? I might put up around the same time as this, or at some point, I did a fan dub for Kaiji with actual really good voice actors and everything like that, replacing sound effects and the music, and it is as professional as I could possibly make it, just of the Braveman Road thing. So I might put that up because it's not up anywhere because that was an old channel, but I might re-put that back up because I put a lot of effort into that. It's our favorite fucking game ever. I love it. So seeing it in this as well got me so unbelievably hyped, and it is in a way different way too. Like, it's not a way different way, but it is a different way. The one thing I was disappointed with in the game is that nobody tried to walk on the beams. Like, I know that probably wouldn't be allowed, but you gotta show, like, the beams are electrified, or they're gonna shoot you if you're on the beams, or something, you know? But the fact that nobody even attempted that, it seems unbelievable to me. It seems like that would obviously be your first thing to do. That's immediately what I would do. Why would you ever go on the glass and walk on the steel beams? But that, you know, I really wish we had that. But that's it. That's my one, like, complaint about the game. But yeah, so having the guy who worked in a glass factory for a long time, and he was like figuring it out, and they shut off the lights. That's also what I like. I'm surprised they haven't done that yet, really, in a death game, in one of these games in Squid Game yet, because like that's what I consider quintessential death game stuff as well. Of the like, we're gonna just switch the rules up on you halfway through the game, and they haven't really done that yet. But we were getting there. We were getting there, and there was only 4 people left too. So it's like they really wanted as little people to live as possible. Like, I wonder if there's a universe in which everybody just dies here, and then they're like, well, I guess that's it. Because they were very, very close to that. If it wasn't for some of the people who got them, like, you know, well, there was 15 glass things and 16 people. So at the very least, someone might have just won this. Like, a worst case scenario, one person would, I mean, not worst case scenario, but, you know, if one person broke every single glass thing, then one person would win the whole thing overall and get the money. And considering, I don't know how to do it, because like some of these games were clearly here already. They were built and then the rooms stay that way. So like, do they use them more often? It doesn't seem like it, because the VIPs say like each, you know, time it's a different game and everything like that, so they're very surprised about that. But they definitely do build some of these very, very far in advance, whereas other ones maybe not, or like this one, they had to have built it very, very far in advance, but was it can they elongate it? Like, was it like, it's built, but we'll decide how many glass tiles are going to be on there versus how many people are left at this point? I don't know. The number of people is always interesting to me. It's really interesting to me in a lot of these games where it's like for the everybody lining up for the shapes. That was like a completely even split. Like, it was, you know, every line was about like the same number of people, which is wild. That was fucking crazy. And there's a lot of stuff like that in this game where just like coincidentally they're going by the rules. They're very, very, all the contestants in this are very, very good about following the rules. Almost nobody has cheated, which is crazy to me. Like, that is the one thing that feels unrealistic about this, is that almost nobody has cheated. There's been a couple, but compared to how many people are here, compared to how many games they've played, barely anybody has cheated in a way where you're cheating in the game. Like, plenty of people have also cheated by having knowledge that they shouldn't have, but that's not the same. That's a way, way different kind of cheating than what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'd say it's quintessential stuff to be cheating in the game to try and figure out how you're going to win, but nobody's really doing that at all. I would say this game is the one game where we got that, which is pushing people, or like, you know, looking at the glass, or throwing the marble, or whatever, but, you know, either way, that is very surprising. Extremely. absolutely baller way for Han Minya to take out. How is that how you pronounce her name? Let me look this up again. I might be misremembering how it's spelled. Han Mineo. Okay, yeah, I was reading that wrong, or like had the spelling wrong in my mind while I was saying that. But no, Han Mineo, her taking out Deoxys was absolutely incredible. A highlight of the game, maybe. It was so good. Like, I completely forgot about her saying, you know, if you fuck me over, I'm gonna kill you. And then she did. She did. I wish we could have seen them splat on the ground, but excellent way for him to go. An excellent way for him to have like this final villain moment there at the end. But like, yeah, Sungwoo absolutely gonna be our main big villain of the season. He is our huge, like he's the unrelenting, like unabashed villain. Or I mean, I guess to be fair, the other guy is the unabashed villain. How am I trying to say this? Like, he has no remorse for what he's doing, and he does a little bit. We can see it on his face, but you know what I mean. Like, he is so cold in the way he does everything. Whereas Deoxys is absolutely, like, he's screaming, he's wild, he is that, like, I don't know, they're two very different kind of villains, but I don't know what words I'm looking for to talk about it. One is cold and is still, like, being like, man, I'm such a shitty person, versus Deoxys is, like, panicking, and really wants to live, but he's not doing anything in a good way. I'm not trying to say he's better than Sungwoo in any way. He's way worse, but, I mean, to be fair, way worse is arguable. Maybe Sungwoo is worse than him. It's hard to say. They're both very different evils. Manipulative versus just force. I do like the cat and mouse game between Frontman and our police detective. Like, that's a fun little dynamic we have. I'm not sure if I can say anything about it, but it's a fun little dynamic. What was going on with the host? What the fuck happened with the host? Like, didn't say anything, just took off his mask and, you know, had other business to attend to. What the fuck? What the fuck? Seriously, like, I don't know what to say about that. That's just curious. Very curious what he had to do, or why he took the mask off, or anything. The, like, depraved room that the VIPs are in, and the VIPs in general. Like, I don't know, I feel like they could have done a better job with the VIPs. I really like the aesthetic of them, I love the aesthetic of the room and everything like that, but their actors, not good at all. Like, just so bad at acting. Like, it's just that simple. Like, they are just the definition of bad at acting. There's nothing specific I can say. They just do not know how to act. but yeah, I think, like, and again, they're really hamming up the silliness of them, but I don't really think they're hamming up that they are, you know, the worst of the worst kind of people in the world. They're really not selling that up very much. So, except for, like, the one guy, and even then, they're not selling it up that much of him being the lowest of the low. So, you know, I don't know how I feel about it. If you're gonna have your VIPs come in here, you gotta go very heavy on making them the lowest of the absolute low. The little, like, mini thing we did with, like, the picking your number was interesting. It was very interesting. I got it way wrong. Like, I would have died. I would have absolutely died. I would have fucking killed myself. It's so funny to me how confident I was. I saw the thing, and I was still like, okay, yeah, I get the game entirely. You gotta, like, the more people step on the glass, the more it's gonna get close to, like, cracking. So you want to just, you know, go. And it's like a thing of, like, I thought the whole game was just picking the number, and then it was just going to be, you walk on the glass, and whoever is the last couple ones is probably going to die because it's, you know, been tread on the most, and so it was cracking or something. That was my guess, but no, way wrong. I would have died so heavy. I would have died. Also, the aesthetic of Jihoon having the, like, 456 shirt, but then also having the 001 hoodie is, I guess, like, tracksuit top thing, whatever the fuck you call coat, I don't know what you call that. But yeah, like, very interesting aesthetic. I really like it, you know, just having the two numbers be, you know, different. I don't know, it's cool. I like it. But yeah, overall, this was an excellent way to have a little bit of a swan song for, you know, the cast of characters that weren't going to make it to the final gamble, but made it here, and, like, they got to have a last moment before they died. Like, even the religious guy got to have, like, a bit there. You know, that was a thing going on. That was a thing going on is the lamest way I could have possibly described that, but you know what I mean. But yeah, we have 3 left now to go into our finale here, which if you gave me 100 guesses as to who was going to be in the final gamble, I would have never guessed 3 people, and I would have never guessed which 3 it was. Like, it's so on the nose. It's so obvious. But like, again, I do appreciate that this series is not worried at all about the like coincidental nature of certain things. They're just doing stuff, and if you think it's a coincidence, who gives a shit? Fuck you. Keep going. Like, there's a part of me that's like, oh, but then there's another part of me that's like, I get it. Like, you know, you read so much stuff or you watch so much stuff that really tries to do the, oh no, we can't do this because of X, we can't do that because of expectations and blah, 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 blah. But I appreciate someone being like, realistically, is this the way that it would go down? Probably not, but who cares, you know? Is it an extreme coincidence that the 3 main characters are your fault? Like, I think, is it a coincidence that X happens to the main character is, I think, negligible just by the fact of, like, why would you be telling a story unless extremely interesting things are happening to a person? And, like, in life, there are plenty of times where, coincidentally, a bunch of crazy shit happens to one person. And it's like, yeah, that's essentially the story you're being told. But when it's like, oh, that person and like a group of other people close to them all have crazy shit keep happening to them coincidentally, is like, it gets harder and harder to believe. It's like the thing with the guy in this series, like, what's my chance of survival? And it's like, it increases so much with each additional thing. And like, that's the same I feel with this, where it's like, each additional person who's having these coincidences happen to them gets more and more unbelievable. But just having a blanket, fuck you, we're going to have a shitload of extreme coincidences, and we're going to have all of our extremely important characters survive towards the end, and it's just going to be just them 3 in our final gamble, and somehow this is fine and entertaining as well. I mean, like, maybe this final gamble is going to be super entertaining to the VIPs, but I can't imagine how it would be that entertaining. I don't know why they came here to watch this one specifically. Either way, yeah, like, I would think the first one would probably be the best one to watch live, you would guess, but, and probably the worst one to watch digital, I would assume. But either way, doesn't really matter. But yeah, insane coincidences. The fact that we now have, like, they all saw Sung-woo push the guy, so now they know, and they're going to start questioning stuff like, I wonder about this other thing or that other thing. I think Ji-hoon's going to flash back to his, like, reactions to so much stuff, but particularly the honeycomb reaction was very particular. So, I think Ji-hoon's going to start to figure stuff out, and I think Se-byuk's known for quite a while, but has just been, like, now she's, like, really, like, oh, fuck, okay, I was right, this guy's not to be trusted. Yeah, I think that's it for this episode. I will see you guys for the next one. Until then, get the fuck out of here.